This is the unit here which we call a CRD, or constant rate device. As you can see, it's quite light. It's an auto descender, it's a geared mechanism. It has at 100 kilos, it's got a control rate of 0.8 meters a second. Okay? If you add more weight on, up to say 220 kilos, you'll go to about 1.2 meters a second. In real terms, what I am going to do, as I'm descending down, once I get about halfway, I'm going to completely let go of the rope. I'm going to ask Paul to give me slack on the blade, and I'm just going to let go of the whole thing, and it'll show you how slow you lower. From 100 meters, you can let go of the rope and land in your bum safely. Right, so it's only about that fast. So it's quite smooth. The advantage of it, you've got what we call a friction horn, so it allows you to have more control when you evacuate, or more control when you lower someone down. It's also got the ability to be able to raise and lower someone. So when we have someone suspended, we're going to use what we call remote access to get them, which is attaching this end onto the casualty. Is anyone familiar with the old Gotcha kit? And that was the first pre-rig system that came into Australia. Who's seen that before? Who hasn't? Most guys have. Okay. So in conjunction with the frog and the pole, the frog will go onto this hook here, and as hooks most of you folks are aware, we have a fiberglass 3 metre pole as well. That allows us to clip that frog onto the pole and reach down to where the casualty is. That's a commonly rescue technique known as remote attachment, and it negates the need for myself or anyone else to actually abseil down to the bloke. So the first scenario I'll do, normally the kit will come in a red bag, similar to the Gotcha kit or the Shark kit, but I'm just it's a brand new product for us. We had an old style and we've just revamped it, so I've only got the larger bag at the moment, but it does come in a small compatible red bag, easy to throw over your shoulders, reinforced bottom, so you can drop the rope out of the way. So the first scenario, I'll just show you a basic evacuation out of it. Okay, so you're a crane driver, you've got a fire, and you need to get out quickly. So if the driver's out, he's got to connect the device to an approved attachment point. That'll be nominated initially before work ever commences, where they're going to connect it to. It may be a marked attachment point in the cabin or in that area. Below. With our self-evacuation on this kit, we're actually going to attach the device to us. The reason being, when you're descending down, you've got control of the device. If you left the device up here and you're on your own, you've got no control over it. What we have got is the ability to add friction in the device. So you can either wrap around the block, around your shoehorn, and away you go.
Do you like backup one?
Hey?
So
yeah, I will. You've also got the ability to be able to pull a pin out and also lock the device as well. So you can use it if you have to stop halfway down for whatever reason. Alright? Come on, boys, squeeze check.
Side.
Right. When you're descending, if we're coming over an edge, part of the training will teach guys how to avert. Nice and steady. Go. You can control this easily with 2 fingers. You need to stop it, you need to stop it. If you want to lock it, you've got a locking pin. You can lock out, and you can actually let go of the rope to where you need to be. You've also got the ability to actually wind yourself up if you need to. So you can slack on the blade here. Slack?
Yeah, 3.
Yep. So if you are to lose control over the device, That's the speed you land. So it's not fast, is it? Okay, so on your, if you have to do a raising operation, on your kit is on belay squeeze check. If you're doing a raising operation, you have got your winch with an extendable handle on there to be able to wind your casualty up. So my operator was sitting down, he's injured, I can then wind him up, holding on the handle, apply the lock, manipulate him over the edge, which has been very cooperative today for me.
This is someone's injured up there and someone's gone to rescue him. So you actually have to have a rescuer and a casualty scenario. So obviously first aid is a requirement first, so any first aid needs to be done first.
So he's going to help me get over the edge. So once he has him lowering down, I can stop him wherever I want. Release the brake and I can stop him.
So is there any scenarios where there could be an injury up top, someone's had an injury, illness, heart attack, or whatever, and someone has to go up and rescue the person down? This is that scenario.
So once again, you've got very good control. So a typical scenario, the mate's left angling. So the first thing we want to do is lower the rope down so we know that we've got enough rope. To about a foot past the D, the way you know you've got enough rope. That's imperative. Bring our rope back up. With our pole and frog. We're going to reach down to where our casualty is. Hook onto his D. I'm going to kindly pass that back to Dean. So now what we've done is made a connection to our casualty. Alright? I'm raising my handle up. I'm going to wind, making sure everything's nice and straight. Now you can either use the handle, but I have a preference where I just like to use it like a steering wheel. So what we do now is we wind up our casualty. If you want to use your steering wheel, your handle, you can also use that. I only have to lift him enough so that my lanyard that he's hanging off becomes loose. And I myself yet have not put myself in danger. Put your lock on, you can now disconnect that. Don't drop it, right? Or don't throw it, because you've got a pretty good chance of hitting the guy in the head. The best way to do it is clip it onto the line below and stop straight there. From here, tuck my handle away, unlock my device, add my friction, quite steadily, going safely to the ground. These devices have been quite huge in Europe. One of the reasons I went with this as a product for us is it's got a high ratings, 2 people, 250 kilos. Good quality internals. Our guy that does all our servicing is a tool maker by trade, which is reassuring for us. It's one of the things I look for, because the guys that buy our product aren't the ones that are hanging off it. And if I'm going to expect you guys to hang off it, I've got to hang off it as well, so it needs to work. But the CRD, big in Europe, there's a whole range of different brands. A lot of the cheap ones are rated to 100 kilos, which is quite limited for big guys. Okay? Some of them haven't got the ability to add friction. The other thing you can do with it is what we call a multi-person evacuation. So if you've got 2 or 3 guys on here, first guy goes down, second guy will just throw a figure of 8 in, he hooks on, he jumps down, the first hook comes back up. So it'll work in both directions as well, so you can do multi-person evacuation quite quickly.